Welcome to the Business of Pleasure, where we're putting the fun and funds and the sexy in success. Brought to you by Bedroom Kandi Boutique Parties, this podcast is your one-stop shop for empowering education, earning potential, and unforgettable wow moments. I am your host, your Sexologist Bestie, Kasha, and I invite you to join us as we dive into the sophisticated discussions about pleasure, self-care, and everything in between. Yes, baby, the bathroom, the bedroom, and beyond. Enjoy a diverse range of guests guaranteed to inspire and delight. Get ready to elevate your mindset, boost your confidence, and embrace the pleasure revolution with us. Now, I have to give you guys a little context about Bedroom Kandi. Bedroom Kandi was founded in 2011 by award-winning singer-songwriter who happens to be sitting right beside me, Real Housewives personality and entrepreneur, Kandi Burruss. Can we clap it up real quick? In conjunction with her partners, intimate toy developers Brian and Sookie Dunham. At the time, the line launched with only 5 products, and now it features, we got like hundreds of products over here now. So we're talking everything from toys to bath and body, cosmetics. We literally have something for everyone over here. Now, in 2012, the home party side of the business hit the scene. So now that we're incorporating this mission to empower people both sexually and financially. Since then, Bedroom Kandi Boutique Parties has grown, selling over 10,000 starter kits and working with consultants across the country to spread education, empowerment, and self-love in the communities. As we continue to grow and expand into not just an intimate toy line, but an entire lifestyle company, we are dedicated to elevating others, improving relationships, and fostering successful careers. So whether you're looking to pamper yourself or change your life, Bedroom Kandi has you covered. Now, I'm excited, guys. We're going to be doing this in a couple of segments designed to help you guys understand our mission, which is to empower, educate, and earn. And our empowerment segment is called Pioneers of Pleasure. Okay, so we cannot kick this off without starting with the pioneer of pleasure here at Bedroom Kandi, and that is none other than Kandi Burruss. And I want to first start, because this conversation is really about giving you your flowers.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And we got some interesting flowers to give you today, actually, right? But I wanted to first take a moment, right? Because I wouldn't be even sitting in this seat if it wasn't for you, okay?
Why do you say that?
So I know that when I transitioned into entrepreneurship, I tried different companies, different brands, and it really didn't take off like it did until I got to Bedroom Kandi, right? Okay. So when you created this brand, you could have just kept it for you. Sold it online, left it at that. But you opening it up is actually like, it led to so many different things. I literally came in as a consultant, and I was like, if there's one thing I could do with this New York hustle, is I could get these vibes out there. But what I didn't really anticipate was that through BK, I was gonna end up getting introduced to Dr. Rachel's Institute, where I got my clinical certification as a sexologist. And then that started the next part of it. So like, it just kept growing and growing and growing. I think in my first year at Bedroom Kandi, I became the top seller, and I was big. Yes. And I never cared about that nowhere else. But when I got over here, it was just a very different vibe. Like, we are a whole vibe.
We definitely are.
We are a whole vibe at
For
Bedroom
sure.
Kandi. Y'all will see clips from our conventions and cruises. Y'all will see just how we get down. But I have to first thank you for creating that opportunity to not just be bossing up yourself, but to create lanes where other people could find opportunities to make their own lanes through a brand that you created. So thank you, first and foremost. And in order to really thank you, I got a little gift. I got a little something for you.
Oh, we got gifts.
So, you know, we had one of our BKBCs. Her name is Sylvia Davis out of Atlanta, Georgia. Custom designed this because we know that you're on a tour right now, right?
Yes,
Queen.
yes.
We know that you're a queen of R&B, but you are also the queen of pleasure.
The queen of pleasure. I actually truly love this. I know people are going to stop me on the street to be like, now what does that mean?
What does that mean? I mean, I think when we have this conversation about being pioneers of pleasure, and you said this actually on the Real Housewives episode with the Peach Social.
Yes.
Right? Starting an intimacy brand when Bedroom Kandi started, like that was when talking about sex was just like.
That was when everything was still taboo. And it's so funny to me now because I see so many like podcasts that talk about sex openly and relationships openly, but they weren't doing it like
Not
that
at all.
back in 2010 to 2011 when we first started the brand. People were not doing that. It still was looked at as very much like, I cannot believe you said that, you know, online, especially being black. And doing it
Now that's a
openly.
whole nother thing. And I think what you did with BK, now obviously Bedroom Kandi is a community open to everybody. But naturally, having a woman who is also a black woman starting a brand, we naturally attracted a lot of more black women.
Yeah.
And so now we have hundreds and thousands of people who are selling the products, who are sex educators as a result of it, talking about sex, going in people's households, talking about sex. Mm-hmm. But now we're doing it like social media, vendor events, all kind of stuff. So one of the things I wanted to ask you, because like you said, it was unheard of. Mm-hmm. So why in the hell did Kandi think I want to create a brand within the realm of pleasure?
Okay. Okay, that's a good question. Well, first of all, I was always that friend. Like that, always that homegirl where we could sit around and talk about anything. Or like, I used to have this group of friends, we used to call ourselves the movie club. We used to get together every single Friday, catch a new movie, and then catch up on
all
the week's events of who you went out with, who you dated, who you met, you know, what went down, you know,
right, the details.
The details. And I was always that friend that had the information, you know, girl, you should try this, you should do that, da, 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 you know. So that, you know, I am that friend. Mm-hmm. But during the time, I guess during 2010, 2011, I get so confused with dates. Yeah, mm-hmm. Like I always forget, and you remind me when you go.
You said the dates. Yeah. That's when it started.
So before Bedroom Kandi, I was doing Candy Coated Nights online.
Yes,
and that was so random. I was just being silly online, talking with my friends. At that time, they used to have Ustream, or it wasn't.
I remember that.
Yeah. So we got on there and we were just, you know, I was telling people to call in with their best sex stories. Oh. Yeah. And from that, it just became like a weekly routine because people would be hitting me on Twitter. When's the next time you're going to go online? So one thing I know is that being consistent is how you
kind of grow
anything, or you know, how you build a community, you know. And so I just made it every single Wednesday night, Hump Day Wednesday, Hump Day,
right? Hump Day, and now we have Hump Day sales, everything every week. Look how that transferred
Hump Day,
over. Yes, every day is Hump Day.
Every week. Okay, so I was like, Hump Day Wednesday, we're gonna do this every week. So anyway, in the midst of that, I was like, okay, so it's building a following. Mm-hmm. How do I, because nobody was paying me for a podcast at that time, that podcast
it was just kind of like a hobby. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, what is something or a product that I can have that could go along with this podcast? And a friend of mine, she was like, or one of the people that we were on the podcast with.
Okay.
Yeah, she was like, you should do a sex toy line. And I was like, that would be kind of dope.
Shout out to that friend. You are responsible for so many orgasms.
Yeah. She was like, you know, and I was like, that would be kind of dope. And we just discussed the fact that there weren't many people who weren't known as, you know, people in the sex industry who had adult toy lines.
Yeah, I think at that time,
Dr. Laura Behrman was the only person that I knew. Yeah.
And it wasn't online or anything like that either. You had to go into like a sex shop that was.
Exactly. So it wasn't really many people. And I was, it was just kind of that question of like, okay, if I do this, would people
buy into?
Look at me like I'm crazy or whatever?
How did your family respond? Did they?
My mom was with it. She was like, "Oh, that's a great idea." But mind you, I'm from Atlanta, where strip clubs are popular. You know, like it's part of the scene. It's not a big deal.
Vibe.
Like, this is something I never tell people. When I was a teenager and after our group first came out with our, album.
What's your album?
I remember one of the ladies that worked for the label, she said, "So, Kandi, what would you like to do with, your money?" When you said, I was like, "Oh, I would love to own a strip club." I was 17 and I said that.
We're going to speak that into existence because there's still time.
She was like, because she wasn't from Atlanta. She was like, okay.
That's an interesting choice.
Yeah, she was like, well, why would you want to do that? But after she came to Atlanta, started hanging with, the artists and stuff, she got it.
The vibe.
But, being a person who came up in that culture, it's not that big of a deal.
It's not, and I think places like Atlanta, even Miami, New York, certain places you are accustomed to more of that like party out club going life. So that makes sense.
Yeah, it's not big of a deal.
Yeah.
So anyway, with that being said, me and my homegirl, we talked about it, and I believe whatever the reunion for Housewives that year was it. Maybe the first reunion I was on, or maybe
because
the second.
I think. Well, yeah, because you came season 2. So yeah, that would have been the first.
Yeah,
your first reunion.
Well, actually, it was their first. They didn't do a reunion, I don't think, on their first season. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so Andy asked me, like something that I wanted to do, and I was like, I want to start my own adult toy line. But after I said it, I was like, okay, now I got to make it happen. Because I'm not a person who just puts things out there in the world and don't actually see it
through.
Like I hate, that's like a thing that annoys me. I hate one of those, I would love to, I wish I coulda, woulda, shoulda, coulda person. I hate that. It drives me insane. Every time you see them, they talk about something else they want to do and they never do it.
Yeah.
It's like, I did not want to be that girl, especially not to the world who's watching me.
Right.
So I put that out there. Let me figure it out.
I think that statement in its own is a real strong statement for anybody who's looking to do anything, especially nowadays. Like a lot of people trying to get into content creation, all kind of stuff. But you said 2 things. 1, consistency.
Yes.
2, put some action behind it. Don't be one of them people who just out there running their mouth. So that makes sense.
Action is everything, right? I always be talking with Tilly Ray. I'm Team Taurus. We are dependable. Okay. If we say it, we gonna do it. It's done. It's like we did everything in our power to get it done. If we can get it done, you get what I'm saying? I'm
thinking now about all the Taurus people I know, and I could co-sign that. They that and they competitive.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, it's just like it's just something about it. I just feel like, if you put these things out there in the world that you want to do, but you never go after it, you defeated yourself before you even tried. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, I hate all of that. Like I hate sharing ideas with people or somebody sharing an idea with me, and the first thing that said, yeah, but it'll probably cost too much.
They already think about all the reasons that it won't work before they actually start.
Yeah, they didn't even check to see how much it costs. They didn't even, you just automatically think this idea is too big for me to accomplish. They don't think about, okay, who could I partner up with if it's too big for me? How can I figure this out if I don't know the steps? Who knows the steps that I can talk to? Like, people already be telling themselves why it ain't gonna work. Ugh.
I can understand. No, that makes a lot of sense.
Get away from me if you are a why it ain't gonna work person. I be having so many ideas that people always looking at me and tell me why it's not gonna work or why I shouldn't do it.
Meanwhile, you done created how many streams? You have
at this point, it's too many. But at the time that I had did that, I had already been known as a singer-songwriter. I believe I had already started tags.
And you had already been in Housewives, because I think...
Yeah, I was already on Housewives, but I was like first couple years into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my point is, it's like, still, as far as building a brand from the beginning, people still hadn't seen me do it enough. Even if they had seen me do it once is not enough to people. Mm-hmm. You have to do it multiple times before they really believe
that's what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
It's so funny because when we talk with our consultants about getting their stuff off the ground, a common thing people talk about is like, oh, people didn't support them like they thought in the beginning, like kind of stuff. And I was like, I remember like scrolling on Facebook and constantly seeing friends who are always just like, you always got a new venture. Mm-hmm. And I didn't see the last one really have no success. So like you said, I've seen you posting about now you're doing this, now you're selling this, now you're selling that, but you stop doing that and you stop. And I'm like, I can't keep supporting your startups if you're not going to keep follow through. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I could relate to that. So let me ask you this, right? So obviously you said I got to put some action behind it. Mm-hmm. You had the idea. What was actually the most difficult part or challenging part getting started that you found you had to overcome?
There were a couple things. Okay, first, shout out to my homegirl. She helped me do research and on different companies who
kind of see what
to try to find somebody to help us develop it.
Oh, okay.
So she found Brian and Suki.
Interesting.
She did. And the way she did that is Brian and Suki at Oh My Bod, they already had a product that worked with music.
And so we know that's
meaning it vibrated with music, guys, for those of you who don't know.
Y'all gonna see where that
vibrates to the music.
Now. Yeah.
So
that was Happiness and Joy. The
No, not originally.
No?
No, they had their own.
Oh, separately from BK. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm a music person.
Absolutely.
And that's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to do this adult brand, and so she was like, okay, they would probably be the perfect company for you to team up with, right? Mm-hmm. So here was the thought, right? Okay, mind you, when you are a celebrity face and you say you want to do a business, you're gonna have all kind of people reaching out to you to partner with you to basically just do a licensing deal when they license your name or whatever.
And kind of work it out like that.
Right, exactly. So it was already, because I said it on the show, it was already a couple of companies that were reaching out to me that were trying to offer me one of those deals.
One of those kind of situations.
Exactly. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to actually have a product that I had ownership in, and that we, if I did partner with somebody, we are partners.
Equal,
in this,
as opposed to you just attaching my name and
you
celebrity to it.
You just give me a small, because most licensing fees, for most people who don't know, could be like anywhere from 3 to 7% for their first deals. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of those celebrities who do, a lot of big brands,
collaborations with big brands, they're only getting a small percentage as opposed to having
or
ownership.
They'll get a fee or something.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, but when we met with Brian and Suki, they were like, "Well, we can't pay you no advance." Not that I didn't ask them to be
but
clear.
They were upfront.
But they were very upfront, mind you. Found out later Suki is a Taurus like me. Okay. So anyway, but they were like, we know how to make quality products. And they really didn't know much about me at the time. We had two different worlds.
Completely.
So they were just like, we don't mind helping you develop this product or whatever. And we can be partners if you are willing to just go into this with us
as we
go,
50-50,
and that's the thought. It's like, okay, now here you are over here, you got some people over here offering you 6-figure deals, right? For an idea that you just threw out there to the world that you want to do.
Right. Meanwhile, you have some folks who are like, we ain't got 6 figures.
Yeah, and mind you, these people already got, many stores that they trying to offer you, whatever. But one thing about me, I want my stuff to always be quality. I want to always own my stuff, let's be clear. And I want it to be quality. And one thing I remember Suki was saying about the other people, she was like, I don't know if she said this or for somebody else that I had that was kind of consulting me at the time.
on it, yeah.
They called things that you find a lot of times in adult stores that's kind of cheaply made, shit in a box.
Well, we ain't got that over here.
Definitely not.
We ain't got that over here.
So I was like, I didn't care how much money they was offering me.
If the quality wasn't going to be what it was, then
And
you weren't about to put your name on it.
I would have helped build something that wasn't really, that I couldn't walk away from it and say, this is mine. You know what I mean?
Right. It makes a lot of sense. Okay.
So I was like, yeah, that's not for me. So what I
sounds
decided
like one of the challenging parts was even just choosing the right partner when you had so many crabs in a bucket trying to reach at you.
Exactly. It's all about, do you want to take easy money or do you actually want to put your heart and soul into something and start it from the ground up and really, see what can happen.
Imagine that, what are we now, 13 years from then? Yeah. That, how do you feel today with that?
I made the best decision in the world. Let's be clear. There were so many pluses to going in the direction that I went. Okay, so like I said, well, Brian, Suki, and I, we are lifelong partners. We have, so many things that we've built and made together. But just to be clear on a business note, this is another thing. People said that that was the other thing that was a challenge. What I wanted to do, because I want you to see it and it happens within that season.
Okay,
I'm not later. You guys see it happen today.
Who can pull it out now?
So when I met Suki, I said, look, this product needs to be done within a 2-month span because our season was short at the beginning. I was like, it was like 2 or 3 months. And she was like, I don't know about that. Like to develop a product and actually having
execute it and ready to launch in 2 months.
So I was like, look, I can't just be talking about something. So she was like, okay, we could get maybe possibly like the mock-up,
at least the model so we can start to showcase that.
Yeah, so you can see the model and we could do that. So I was like, okay, that's good enough because as long as we have products that we've made that people can physically see,
that is something
that I can do for my launch by the time we finish filming, not the time that the show airs, by the time we finish filming. So the show comes out months later. Right. But we gotta have this done before it ends up. And so she's like, okay, it's a lot of pressure, but we're gonna make this happen. So we made it happen. And it was a huge gamble. But when I tell you, I think in the first full month of business, we had recouped our initial investments. That
is a big deal. Most people don't see that return on investment for like a significant amount of time. So that's that's big.
But listen, everybody that told me I was stupid for doing what I was doing, that was all they kept saying. Oh, I knew this one guy, I don't even want to say what company he was with. He was with a big company, and he was like, oh, you're crazy if you don't take this money. A lot of adult product toys, they'll never really
kind of take
off and make this type of money.
I know he's regretting that statement today.
Yeah, he has regretted it. I've seen him since. But he was just like, yeah, you should take the money. And I was like, no, I'm gonna gamble with people that I'm just meeting
for the first time.
We had just met and we took this gamble together and it definitely it
paid off.
And
that's awesome.
The next year, and this is what I love about Brian and Suki. When I have these crazy ideas, the next year, we barely had the products out, child. Right. And I was like, hey, you know what I always wanted to do? I always wanted to have one of those in-home party consulting companies. And he was like, okay, let's figure out how to make it happen. So the next week, we were on the phone with people who consult those types of companies.
Okay.
And to give us the steps of what we needed to do to start putting it together.
And that was because the home party actually started in 2012. A lot of people don't realize it launched already, but then a year later, that's when it became open for us to have consultants and all that type of stuff.
Exactly.
And that's crazy. That's for 1 year. For 1 year of growth, that's a significant thing. I think.
And we had to have big balls to do it.
At that time.
That's a lot to, I mean, a home party company it's a lot.
A lot of layers now, yeah.
It's a lot of layers.
And believe it or not, I always had a blanket understanding of it, but now I have such an intricate understanding of how much really goes into supporting that type of structure. It really, y'all gotta understand, this was a significant thing, but I'm wondering, and I guess I'll ask this because it kind of goes into when we talk about the earning, and we'll come back. What was it that made you wanna open it up to be like a home party in the first place? Like, why?
This is funny. When I was younger, I had one of those parties at my house one time. Mm-hmm. I had invited all my friends, and I guess I had sold the most product at my house than any other guest that ever had. So I had I got all the gifts and all of
that. was the hostess with the mostest.
Girl,
oh, okay.
Me and my whole family, we lit, girl. All our parties be lit. Okay? Come on now, baby, Kandi.
I already know.
Parties be lit. But anyway, but from that experience, I knew that there was a lot of money that was in that lane.
Okay.
And also, I love helping. Well, we don't just have women in our company, but at that time, it was
majority women. Yeah.
So I love to see other women come together on business and build brands, because obviously if we making money together and we are all working together to build, then there's a lot of money to be made for everyone involved.
Right. And honestly, that's the whole collaboration aspect of it that I think some people just lose. It's not like everybody, and I'm putting this message out to anybody. A lot of people are always just thinking about, immediate, what can I get? What can I get? What can I get? But that's the kind of why we're having this conversation about giving you your flowers, because you could have taken that same, you know what I'm saying, mentality. And you were on some, and you don't just do that with Bedroom Kandi, because if people watch your stories and stuff, you always, you'd be like, oh, so-and-so just gave me this cup.
Well, because I just kind of feel like, definitely you pour into people and it comes back. Even if that person didn't pour back into you, you get it back from somewhere, right? So, I just try not to be selfish in anything that I do. And I know it's hard for people to believe that I did grow up a preacher kid, okay? I am, so I have a lot of...
Until you said that just now, that was new information, and I wouldn't have believed... Like, if someone would have did trivia, I would have been like, I would have definitely got that wrong. But
yeah, my grandfather's a bishop, and I know, my great-grand... my daddy's side, okay? My mom and my dad separated, so, I got a little bit of both sides. But my point of saying that is I do have strong religious beliefs, okay? And with that being said, I just kind of always prayed when I was younger, like, God, if you always give it to me, I promise I'm going to share it with everybody else. Everything you give to me, I promise I'm going to share. So I just kind of feel like in everything I do, I try to, whether it's sharing my platform, sharing the opportunity, sharing, I just feel like it's,
and it literally it multiplies, and I can say I agree with that statement. Like, a lot of times people are money motivated, but I find that when you move with the right intention, the money it just comes. It just comes.
The money just comes.
Right. Wise words from
Taurus.
Well, they said, what's your nickname they got for you? Kandi Get a Bag Burruss.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny to me.
When they say that, I always see people in the comments, but it's kind of true. It's kind of true, and it's several bags.
It's Money Monday, go get it. It's money out there, go get it. It's Money Monday, go get it. It's money out there, go get it. Hey, it's Money Monday, go get it. Hey, it's money out there, go get it. Hey, it's Money Monday, go get it. Hey, it's Money Monday, go get it. Hey, it's money out there, go get it. Hey, it's Money Monday, go get it.
What's up, everybody? everybody. My name is T Lane, known by most as Coach T, and I have had the pleasure of being a part of the Bedroom Kandi business for almost 6 years now. I came in for 2 reasons. The first reason was I knew that I wanted to start a life coaching business for females of all ages, helping them to figure out how to become the best and highest version of themselves. And it's because I had to learn how to do it. One of the things I had to learn how to overcome so that I could be my best self was childhood sexual trauma. And so I felt like Bedroom Kandi and its products, what it had to offer, would go very well with the knowledge and skills and tools that I was teaching the females that I would be working with. So that was the first reason why I was like, oh, Bedroom Kandi, I gotta join. Second reason was I came from the corporate America world. I had never been in the field of entrepreneurship, and I felt like network marketing, which Bedroom Kandi is a network marketing business, I felt like this was the most affordable way for me to figure out if entrepreneurship was for me and learn the skills I needed to run my own brand and business. So those were the 2 reasons why I decided to join. Since being here, I am blessed to say that Bedroom Kandi has afforded me the opportunity to start my life coaching business. It has opened so many doors for me. I've got that up and off the ground and running. And so now that I've gotten what I came into it for, the reason why I stay is because I've had the pleasure to build this amazing team. Shout out to Team BAM. That stands for By Any Means Necessary. And I just love helping them accomplish what it is that they came into Bedroom Kandi for. So that's why I stayed. And I also stay because, you know, like when you find this new restaurant and the food is busting, like you gotta go all on your Facebook, your Instagram, TikTok. You gotta call your cousins and them and tell them about it. Like, y'all need to go and try it. Get the mac and cheese. Like, that's how I feel about Bedroom Kandi. This business has done so much for me. The relationships I've built in the community, the doors open. It's done so much. I gotta tell everybody who will listen about it and tell them to join it too. So that's why I continue to stay. I love it here. I love what it has allowed me to accomplish. I know how this business can increase your confidence, increase your self-esteem, your public speaking skills, all entrepreneurship skills. And I just want to continue to spread the gospel of BK to bring more people in so they can experience that too.